right, Impact Wrestling, one day before Victory Road. Now, I admit, I've done this a couple of times to try and figure out how I'm going to explain what we got in this show, because it's basically adding on to Victory Road. That's what we got here. It's adding on to Victory Road. I never agree with these types of Impact Plus shows that come right after an Impact. These Impact Plus right on the next day sometimes just does not work right. Sometimes I wish it would be on a Saturday, honestly. But since WWE now does things on Saturdays now, and unless they're doing a 2-day thing where they do Saturday and Sunday, I can understand why they have to do it on a Friday. They would just get swamped because of what was going on with WWE. So I can understand why they're doing it. But when you look at this show, it was not bad. And some of it builds to Victory Road. Some of it builds going into what's going to happen when they go to Europe. And some of it's going to go to Bound for Glory. So that's what we got right now. Now, of course, there's another. I can't remember what the next Impact Plus show is, because there is another one. I can't remember the name of it right now. You can tell me below. I just don't remember it. But there's going to be another one that's being built as well. Now, it doesn't mean it's a great build. It's very light, but you get my point. Opening. Deonna Purrazzo versus Dani Luna. Now, let's make this clear. It was an okay match, but I knew Deonna Purrazzo was going to win. But this was spotlighting a Dani Luna who literally, not saying the same move sets, the same look, no. It's just a memory for me personally. Look, I remember when Jordan came in. I remember when Jordan Grace came in, who basically had the same type of physical build similar to Dani Luna. Now, I'm not telling you Jordan is an ugly woman. She wasn't. She wasn't. She's a pretty woman. And she has matured into someone completely different that is like this, bigger than her man in most cases, and a little more risque, because remember, when she was supposed to be debuting back, her vid pack showed her doing this topless. And most guys and many girls would want her to turn around so they can see the nips and the tits. That's just the truth. But I just have this strange kind of feeling that we're looking at another Jordan Grace. Now, Impact Wrestling has helped Jordan Grace to develop into the person she is today. If you've seen Jordan Grace's Impact Diary, you know the reason why she's done what she's done. And I'm not going to explain it to you. If you want to know, go to Impact's not Impact's website. Go to Impact's YouTube channel. Look for it. It is there. You'll be able to see the reason what drives Jordan Grace. For me personally, when she's done this, I'm proud of her. She has now set records for several weightlifting championships. She set records. Women can bench press, or at least do a squat of 400 pounds, or at least 350. I think it's 350, not 400. My mistake. 350 pounds. She's not a big man. I'm about to say big man. A big woman. But the reason I did that is because when she decided she wanted to go into the bodybuilding federation, and she wanted to prove that she can get it done, she cut so much fat from her body and so much water. She was like this. And her face was just squished. She looked great muscular-wise. So much definition, but she lost her femininity. Yes, now she's not doing it right now. She gained back some of her body fat and some of her water, which makes her look much better. But I didn't really feel like she needed to prove that. Honestly, Jordan Grace is a beautiful woman as she was. I'm glad that she wanted to become more fit. I'm glad that she believed that the look of her body was important. But I just felt like she went a little bit too far for herself. Because there's nothing wrong with being a chunky person in pro wrestling. In some cases, people like you that way. Because they want to know not that you want to be chubby, but that you're a person, not someone made out of stone all the time. And when I see Dani Luna and how she performed, it's like an early version of Jordan Grace. I know that's a long way and long-winded way to say it, but that's how it felt. Moving on. Oh, I can't do what everyone else is doing to Joya. Versus, let's make this clear. We knew Joya was going to win. We knew Yuri Uemura and Joe Henley was going to win. We knew it. We knew it, but this is not about them beating Raj and Shira. They were just cannon fodder. This is about how Joe Henley and Yuya Uemura are going to work as a team to make themselves interesting. One problem they have, and it's obvious, and how can I explain this to you guys? If you like Yuya, I know it's funny, it's fun, they can wrestle, and the way they talk is funny. But when you see the intro to them, when you see them come out, when they're dancing, the problem you have is Yuri Uemura. And I just feel like he still has a lot to learn about letting himself go. That's one of the problems with Japanese wrestlers. When they are working, they have a certain mindset that they got to do it just a certain way. Yuri Uemura needs to learn. Yuri needs to learn how to be more relaxed. He can smile, he can do a little bit of a dance, but he's incredibly stiff because it's not like he's totally feeling it. This is going to be something that I think and hope that Joe Henley can help him with. That is not about the language barrier that we have here. A wrestler who doesn't speak English could still get over beyond stink if they just play into their new character and just let go. And that's going to be a problem with Yuri Uemura. He is like this, and then you see that Joe Henley's going like this. He's very stiff, but this is new for him, and I expect him to have problems. There's no way he's not going to have problems. He's smiling, he's trying, but he just needs time to really just let go and relax. Because Japanese wrestlers, just like most Japanese people, unless they were born in America, and they didn't 100% grow up with the pure Japanese mindset. They have a little bit of American, but a little bit of Japanese as well. And they learn that balance of having a little bit of attitude with a little bit of more of family focus, certain way of thinking, certain way of showing respect and ideals. That is what's going to happen for him. He needs to take a little bit of what he is now. This is his character. This is him. He needs to just bring it a little bit. I'm not asking him to just go, whoop, and he's more Americanized. No, I just want him to relax and have fun, because that's what it's got to be. He's got to have fun with it. Moving on. The next match, Lio Rush versus Kevin Knight, non-title. Now, there was a problem with me because there was one point that the stream I was watching froze. It froze. And I had to wait a while before I saw anything. So I lost at least a good 5 or 6 minutes. So by the time I saw it, it was nearing the end. But it was not a bad match for what I saw that I could watch. But I'm going to be honest. When you see Kevin Knight compared to Lio Rush, Kevin is better than Lio Rush is. Kevin is better than Lio Rush. Now, mind you, he's still young in the business, and he still has a lot of work to do when it comes to his character and knowing how to really do the psychology in the ring. He can move around just as well as Lio, and in some cases, way better. And it's not because he's a larger wrestler. He's just a little bit more athletic. Here's Lio. He's slightly above Lio. There's no problem. It's not because he's taller. He is. But Lio has what Kevin does not. He has personality. He has the mic skills. He's developed that over the next, decade that he's been wrestling? Easily over a decade. So Kevin just doesn't have it. And you could see it when it comes to his personality. When they showed the vid pack before the match, you can hear it and see it in his mannerisms and the way he talked. He was just stiff. And when it comes to Lio, he's not. There's your difference. Of course, Lio won. And then you get the beatdown. And then you get the Kimura. And then you get the Kushida coming out trying to stop him. And then putting the Kimura a little bit onto a Lio, borrowing what they're going to be doing tomorrow. That's what you get. Now, let's get to the last match. Bully and Macklin versus Josh and PCO. I'm going through all the matches first because the stuff that we have here afterward, that's the segments, I found more interesting than the matches. Not saying the matches were bad. The story here was PCO and Bully Ray. That's what this is all about. Macklin and Josh's own feud was kind of put to the side for PCO and Bully. Let's make this clear. I know, I believe I saw when JD and Jesse were talking about Impact Wrestling, I think for this Dynamite, and pretty much when I heard JD say PCO still wrestling, he said yes, they still got wrestling with PCO. And it sounded a little like Jesse is just not into PCO. Now, I'm not saying he isn't, but he was just saying it to JD. Now, I can understand why a lot of people are not fond of PCO. If there's some who just don't like him, I can understand it. Why are we caring about this old wrestler? Well, let's make this clear. PCO is 56 years old, and he's doing things even more radical than Sting, who is 63 years old, almost 64, I believe. 63, 64 years old. He is younger than Sting, of course. He's 56. He's older than me by about 4 years. Because I am 52 this year. But damn it all, whether you like PCO or not, he is doing things that most wrestlers of his age would not go crazy and go that bad. He decided that he wanted to be more. And he's showing it. I've seen the documentary of him saying he was so angry at everyone else that he could not get where he wanted to be. He didn't understand it was himself. And he started working on that. And that's the reason why at this point in his life, being as athletic as he's being at 56 years old, where he doesn't have super muscles, super abs, super none of that, and he's still able to do it and not hurt himself badly, shows positivity can give you something. It can. Even at his age, or even my age for that matter, I don't even know. You never know that positivity can change your body functions. You never know. But when it comes down to it, PCO's an interesting character. He doesn't have any qualities when it comes to the mic. But as a wrestler, he is completely unique. And in the end, the heels won due to the fact that Bully Ray tried to convince him to listen. Didn't work. And he was about to get choked out until Macklin tried to interfere. And then the gonad shot always gets him. And he won that way. Here you go. I'm fine with this. I don't know what is it, no disqualification match is going to be, or is it anything goes match? I think it's either anything goes or no disqualification for their match, Bully and PCO. I think it is. Anything goes. Now, let's go to the backstage and vid packs. Let's go to Steve. Not Crazy Steve. Steve. I am calling him Steve from now on. I am not calling him Crazy Steve. He is Steve. He has become so interesting. Deciding to go beyond what he was. He's not acting like Abyss. Nope. He's not acting like Abyss. He's not acting like Rosemary. He's not acting like Havoc. He's not acting like Demon. He's not acting like PCO. He is completely different. He's almost like a Silence of the Lambs. That's what he feels like. And now he's going to be focusing on Black Taurus, his first true opponent. One that he thought was by his side and now has turned away. He's going after him. Now the question is he going to go after Havoc, aka Jessica, and Rosemary? That is what I'm hoping for. That is what I want so bad. That he'll go through everyone that he had a relationship with, goes in the ring with them, and annihilates them. It doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. He annihilates Rosemary. He annihilates a Jessica. Well, I should say Courtney Love. And a Jessica. I want him to destroy them. Annihilate them. Put them through freaking tables. That's what I want. And then he moves on to the X Division and wins that bitch. That is what I want to see from Steve. If they're going to do this with him, they should go all the freaking way with it. Next, we get the Dango. Still talking about Jake something. Let me give it to you. Like, Dango is still so freaking good on the mic with these vignettes with Alpha Bravo. If you don't like them, I want to know why. Explain why. Now, mind you, I can understand why you wouldn't be happy about the way he's being built outside the vignettes and the video packs he's doing, because he should have been the digital media champion. And he's not. He's not digital media champion. And he should be digital media champion. Even though Kenny King did something, and I know my friend is not happy because Swinger's not there. Remember, Swinger's gone because his father-in-law passed away. He's taking time off. He's taking time off. You have to be understanding, my friend. Don't get upset. Remember, true to life, he lost his father-in-law. So that's why he's taking off. I'm sure that's what the situation is. But I truly believed that Dangle should have won the Digital Media Championship. He is great. But without the title, he feels blank. But the vignettes are great. That's what I'm saying. Now, what did we get with Tommy Dreamer? Tommy making it very clear how important it is for him to love wrestling and what this means to him dealing with Kenny King. Because I had to talk about Kenny, now I'm going right here with Tommy. And yes, you did get that moment with Heath trying to convince Tommy not to do what he's doing. But Tommy made it very clear that this means more to him than anything. That the life he's led, the moment that he had when he was wrestling in ECW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, House of Hardcore, his own company that he tried to make, which I don't even know if it still exists. And then what happened with his mother and passing away the way she did, which I can understand for myself. Real talk. What he said about his mother last time he saw her, she told him she was proud of him and she loved him. That meant more to him than any championship he could ever have in his life, knowing that his mother said those things to him. That she was proud of him being a professional wrestler and she loved him. Not many people get the opportunity. Admittedly, for myself, when my mother had passed away due to complication to pretty much going through chemotherapy and going to a coma and passing away that way, when I last saw her, I can understand because my mother almost did the exact same thing. The last moments I had with her was with my aunt, who literally hated my guts legitimately. Who, if she's still alive, would probably be almost 100 years old right now. Yeah. My aunt would be nearly 100 by now. I think she would have been, 96? I think 97 years old, because she was older than my mother, who would be 93 right now if she lived beyond 65. That's when she passed away. And for her, she asked me to hug her. She said, "I love you." And she said she was sorry. I can't explain what the sorry bit is. That's a very personal thing. But those are the words she said before she slipped into a coma. With Tommy, I can identify with that. I can understand that. And since Tommy just came back from dealing with skin cancer for a third time, I believe, the question is Tommy still going to wrestle, or is he done? Because there's a good chance that Tommy may say, you know what, because of what happened with my mother, the skin cancer thing, I might be done. Or, yeah, my mom's gone. I just beat cancer again. I'm all right. I'm going to keep going. This is what we're getting. We won't know until Victory Road. Yes, and I don't think Tommy will leave wrestling, but this is a good thing for him. Let's move on to... Well, actually, before I do that, let me say this about... Shaw and her Shawtourage. Did this segment sound good? It was okay. But it wasn't the best. But they are setting up for the match with MK Ultra, so I can understand why they did it. But this is what was the most important thing. The contract signing for Trin and Felicia Edwards. Now, let's make this clear. And you see her in my face wearing her jacket, trying to look slick, having some wine in her hand, walking with her man, going down to the ring, sitting in the ring. Has she ever been through this type of spot? No. Now, mind you, have we had these type of contract signings from women? Of course we had, on and off over the years. We've had contract signing. But this was a little more real than it should have been. Because, excuse me, once we got Trin coming out, giving a baton to, I think, a little girl, got into the ring. And when you hear Alicia Edwards, was she doing a good job as a heel? I'm not going to tell you she did a great job. Because she just, due to the fact she's not been in such a high spot like this, it's going to be new for her. So she's not been a heel. In all the years she's been in Impact Wrestling, she's been a face. So this is the first real time she's been a heel in this company and has been given such a big spot. So there's no way she's going to be doing this perfectly. It's going to be choppy, which it was. She made it very clear to the people in, I believe it was London, Canada. I believe London, Ontario. I can't remember where. I can't remember where they are. I'm sorry, guys. But she said, I can't understand a damn thing to Santino because I can't understand your accent. Aren't you supposed to be here in Canada? But I can't understand the people of Canada anyway. They just have such a bad accent. But I'm going to make sure that I'm going to take this damn belt from you, boo. And she went on for at least a good 5 minutes doing a monologue of how heelish she was. What made things interesting is when Trin just signed her contract, she waited until Santino said, you ready? She signs it, close it, and then once Alicia says, what, I just spoke all this mess and you don't say a damn word? Oh, she said, oh, you talking to me? I didn't understand because your damn stupid accent, which everyone did enjoy, which was good. I'm not saying it was the most perfect comeback, but it was a good comeback. And she made it very clear that I didn't pay no attention to you. I didn't really think about you. I didn't, but that was my mistake. I'm thinking about you now. You've earned your spot. You earned your win. So we're going to do something tomorrow. And she says, oh, really? That's all you're going to say to me? Oh, I know that this here is going to be great. I'm going to win. I made the mistake of trying to change my man instead of changing myself, which is true. She did a little bit of a truth right there because she's been the same character for, 10 years? She's been in the company for at least 10 or 11 years. I can't remember when she came in with, when did the Wolves come in? 2012? Or was it, I can't remember when she came in with the Wolves. It's been so many years. I know there was a feud between Eddie Edwards and his partner. When was that? I can't remember. Was it 2014? They had their feud together with Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. I think it was 2014. I think, or 13 or 14 when they had that feud where both their wives were involved in it. It's either 13 or 14. So she's been there nearly 10 years. So her changing, that wasn't a lie. But when she brought up, you know what? You got nothing here. Now, yes, Eddie gave Trin some attitude, trying to hold the banner of Impact when he said, you're trying to kid me, you're trying to do the Impact crap? And then she let him have it back, saying, why don't you cool your jets, Mr. Alicia Edwards? Cool your jets. Don't be bothering me. You did the same thing years ago, so don't be playing me. If this was something different, you'd be towing the line of Impact. But then when she brought up her man, that is when it got interesting. And that is when eventually, and this was Trin's man, this was Jonathan, Jimmy Uso, that I got my man right here, and that's Alicia. But your man ain't here. She was rubbing it in, and he can never be here. And that is when it was kind of a little bit of real life. And then a few moments later, she froze whatever she was drinking into Trin's face. Oh no, she did not do that to my girl. She literally threw that, whatever it was, juice or whatever, threw it in her face. And all her makeup, every glitter that she had in her face, even her eyelash extensions. She took off her earlobes, she took off her earrings. Her eyelash extensions came out. The makeup she had came off. She's rubbing it and she just gets up and just whacks her right behind the neck. I don't know. I know this is something they set up ahead of time. And she knew she was going to get splashed in the face. Now, it's not something that hasn't happened before in Impact. But Trin nailed her behind the neck hard. She got up and did that split. Whooped that ass a little bit until Eddie grabbed her and then basically drove her through the table. Which I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see that Trinity is willing to get driven through a table by a man, not a woman, a man. So that means that Trin eventually will have a match with a man. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it's written correctly, there is nothing wrong with that. But the question's going to be, will they write correctly for her? Because she's going to have input on it. Because that's probably part of her contract. While I'm there, I want creative control to a certain extent for my character. You better give it to me. I'm sure she did that. After what happened with WWE, if Trinity did not, I'm saying this now, I don't know. But if I'm a betting man, and I'm a betting man very rarely, if Trinity did not tell them when she signed that contract, whatever amount of year or years she's going to be there, that she is not given some level of creative input or control of her character, I will be shocked. Because after what she said, that people are willing to listen, there's no way she didn't say, while she's signing the thing before it inked, I said, I want some creative control. After what happened with WWE, I want to know if I can control some of my character and the booking. And they probably said, no problem. And she said it in a podcast, I can't remember who the podcast is, that she's so happy she's with Impact because they're willing to listen to her and give her what she wants to a certain extent. That means they're willing to listen to her. That means she must have some level of creative control. And she had to sign off on this. There was no way she wasn't going to let them drive her through a damn table if she knew there wasn't going to be some type of benefit down the road. That I'm sure of. Unless they really didn't give her what she wanted and she only took whatever she could get, which I don't buy. But this is what we got. You like it or not, I don't know if you're going to like it, but this is what we got. I think that was the best thing of the entire show, for me personally. But you guys, comment below. Peace, and I will be doing Victory Road if there's no issues or anything. There's some stuff I got to do tomorrow, like laundry, and I have to go do some other stuff. Peace.